across our area with WYFF News 4's Sky Cam.
Taking a look at live Super Doppler 4.
We all kind of help each other. We'll get through it.
There is hope beyond
Greenwood, Abbeville, Lawrence, and Spartanburg County for this cell right here. This is one of the cells that we've been watching very closely here that has started to rotate here, and that's the concern here as it moves northbound out of Abbeville County into Lawrence County. So if you're hearing the sound of my voice right now in Abbeville, Greenwood, Lawrence, Spartanburg counties, even the tail end of Greenville County, you are under a tornado warning. This is an active tornado warning, a dangerous storm that is moving quickly up toward the north out ahead of this main line that is rotating right now. This tornado warning goes until 11:45. It includes Abbeville, Greenwood counties. It's moving fast toward the north here. Latest track has it 12 miles northwest of Greenwood, moving at 50 miles per hour. I'm going to put a brand new track on this here for you as we continue to watch this cell as it moves quickly out of Abbeville and Greenwood counties here. Putting a track on it. It has it in Poplar Springs, Gray Court, Woodruff, and Roebuck, all within the next 15 to 20 minutes here. So as we keep an eye on this cell as it's moving quickly toward the north and east, this tornado potential is there. Let me zoom in here to Greenwood and Abbeville counties, show you where we're talking about. Get to street level. We're talking west of Cokesbury right here, heading towards you folks in Ware Shoals. Please seek shelter right now in Ware Shoals, heading toward Hickory Tavern, heading north toward the 385 corridor, southern Simpsonville, Fountain Inn, Emery, and then entering Spartanburg County. Should it hold together, it'll be in Woodruff and Pauline and Reedville. So if you're in any of those neighborhoods, you need to be seeking shelter right now. Go to the lowest part of your home. Go to an interior part of your home, whether it be a closet, a bathroom, a hallway. You need to be seeking shelter. Cokesbury. I'm going to put a track on it here for you and zoom right into street level here as we're seeing this near Ware Shoals, near Cokesbury, pushing off toward the north and east. Fresh track here up toward the north puts it in Ware Shoals at 11:20, Duncan Township at 11:35, Barksdale at 11:40, and Fountain Inn by 11:47. Very dangerous storm system right now. One of the first that we've seen as it's moving through Highway 178. This tornado warning goes until 11:45 right here. It has the potential to produce a tornado, and you can see that rotation occurred very quickly here as it pushed off toward the north and east. This tornado impact, a scale of 1 to 10 at a 1.4. So it's in the beginning stages of it, and this is the first of those cells that we've seen move on through our area. It is a very small, compact storm system that is quickly moving up toward the north and east. So if you're watching right now in parts of Spartanburg County, you are under this tornado warning for this cell that is moving quickly, 50 miles per hour up toward the north and east, heading toward Lawrence County. You're next in the path of this storm system as it races off toward the north and east, putting a stop on it here. Ware Shoals, you need to be seeking shelter right now. Poplar Springs, Mount Gallagher, parts of Lawrence County here west of downtown Lawrence. That includes Gray Court, parts of Emery, and it also includes the southern tip of Greenville County from Fountain Inn along the 385 corridor to Cook's Crossroads up toward Green Pond. You folks in Reedville and Spartanburg getting new information here as the National Weather Service confines this tornado warning here and updates it as we put a new track on it. Getting a fresh update here. Goes until 11:45. New information shows that circulation is now 14 miles northwest of Greenwood, right over Ware Shoals. Ware Shoals, you are in the path of this storm system, and if this is a tornado on the ground, it is heading right toward Ware Shoals. So please, if you know anybody that could be in and around Ware Shoals right now, please seek shelter. Get to the lowest part of your home right now and get to some safety here. We're going to slice this storm cell in half right here, show you that rotation. It does not go up very tall, but that just shows you that this storm cell is tapping into some of those winds that are so strong in the upper parts of the atmosphere that are causing the cell to begin to rotate. So pulling out just a little bit here for you, I'm going to walk on over to the chroma key here and show you a few things that we have going on across the area right now. We have an active tornado watch in western North Carolina. This goes until 2 a.m. and out ahead of this, we're starting to see some cells form out ahead of it. Our atmosphere, extremely volatile out ahead of this line. We're tapping into very unstable air that is rotating aloft. We have gone up some 15 degrees in just a matter of a few hours, so our atmosphere is very warm, it's very unstable, and as this line out of Alabama moves into Georgia, it just cranks up that low-level jet even more and gets these storm cells, albeit small ones, to begin to rotate very quickly. So all this activity here is what's so threatening after midnight. Up until then, we've got these individual cells that are going to be forming, like that one right there that is our tornado warning, and then this line right here is going to produce some strong winds and isolated embedded tornadoes. So right now we've got the active tornado watch for the mountains and this active tornado warning right here, which does include Lawrence County, Spartanburg County, Greenville County, and Greenwood County. And looking at it, it looks like Ware Shoals is the most concerning area at this time, as this tornado warning does go until 11:45. As we look at this in Lawrence County, it looks like right on the border of Greenwood and Lawrence County, we're seeing that threat move on through. I'm going to pause it right here over Ware Shoals. So if you're seeing or hearing the sirens in your neck of the woods, or if you're in Ware Shoals, please seek shelter from this storm right now. It is very dangerous. Putting a track on it as it is right over Ware Shoals as it continues north and east in this warning box. It is going to be heading towards you folks in Poplar Springs, Gray Court, Fountain Inn, all within the next 15 to 30 minutes with an intense rotation here. I'm going to turn the rotation on. You can see that we're starting to see some very gusty winds on the east side of Ware Shoals, and that's the concern here, that are up to around 56 miles per hour. At the same time, you have wind going the other way. So the circulation still is confined to Ware Shoals moving up toward Highway 76. I'm going to pause it right here. We're going to get into Ware Shoals right here and track this up toward Poplar Springs. So Highway 252, Highway 25 going into Greenville County. You're right on the border of this, right along the Greenville-Lawrence County line. Looks like that storm cell is going to ride right along it. And just to let you know, this is one cell out ahead of this main line. We've got that tornado warning there. We've also got some of this activity in Spartanburg County, Cherokee County, Union County. Any of these storms that form as they grow taller into the sky begin to tap into that low-level jet that is just racing right now. And as it is, any storm that forms has the potential to immediately begin to rotate with this low-level jet that is abnormally strong for this time of the year. And you've got active tornado warnings up and down that line that is set to move through our area. So my message to you folks at home tonight is this is just getting started. I would urge you to have a weather watcher tonight, somebody that can stay up late and watch these storms and alert the rest of the family if a warning is in place. And right now we have that warning. So anybody that lives in Ware Shoals, you need to be waking up the kids right now and getting to your safe place. This is a dangerous storm that is now moving into Lawrence County. You need to be seeking shelter for this because it is a strong cell. It is a small storm, but it is very compact and very strong. I want you to know that this is a serious situation there for Princeton. Looks like it's going to be just on the outskirts of town right there. You need to be seeking shelter in northern Lawrence County, in the extreme southern part of Greenville County. Downtown Greenville, Travelers Rest, you're not included in this. This would be for Fountain Inn, the extreme southern tip of Greenville County. If you live in Fountain Inn, if you live in Princeton, if you live in Ware Shoals or Gray Court, you need to be seeking shelter right now, getting to an interior part of your home. If you have kids, it's time to wake them up and get them into that interior part of the home. We have a risk tonight for tornadoes that are not only just tornadoes, but strong tornadoes. Our ingredients in the atmosphere are so that we could have an increased risk for EF2 or greater tornadoes. Live Super Doppler 4 HD scanning our area, our very own radar, gives us a look at these storms on all sides. And right now, looking at this storm cell over Princeton and Ware Shoals, it is still rotating. It is a strong storm cell that is moving toward the north and east. I'm going to put a fresh track on it here for you as it moves up toward the north. Ware Shoals heads up at 11:21. Poplar Springs at 1126, Gray Court at 1143, and Fountain Inn at 1148. So strong system right here that is capable of producing a tornado. Let's look at the velocity right now. You can still see we've got that very strong wind that is just on the outskirts of Ware Shoals downtown that is approaching 50, 60 miles per hour going in one direction, toward our radar, while there is still some wind going away from our radar. So the circulation continues to be right overhead of Ware Shoals, and you need to be seeking shelter right now. Our atmosphere, again, is extremely unstable right now. If you're watching us in Greenville County, the southern tip of Greenville County, you need to be seeking shelter, but there is no threat right now for downtown Greenville north through Travelers Rest. Simpsonville, you're right on the border. You're not included in that tornado warning. Malden, you're not included in that tornado warning, but just south on the 385 corridor from Greenville County into Lawrence County, you need to be seeking shelter. With technology nowadays, we're able to hone in on those specific areas that are so concerning, and why that those areas that we really can hone in on. It does look like we are going to see a tornado watch be issued for the entire upstate. Storm Prediction Center noting here that the tornado risk continues to expand and it continues to grow. So this is just getting started, folks. This line is going to continue to press eastbound, and as it does, we will continue to get our tornado threat into the overnight hours. So putting a loop on this as we look at the activity in our area and then back toward the west, what's happening here is this line is bringing up very warm and unstable air from the south. We have gone up into the 70s right now after spending most of the day in the 50s. So we are extremely warm and extremely unstable right now with this active tornado warning that includes Lawrence County. Now it appears Greenwood and Abbeville County, you are about to be in the clear from this, as this storm looks like it is now approaching mainly Lawrence, right at Ware Shoals, pushing up toward the western parts of Lawrence. Poplar Springs, you're now under the gun for the strongest part of this storm cell, putting the track on it. Yep, right there. Right at Poplar Springs, you need to be seeking shelter right there along Highway 252. The intersections of 252 and Highway 76 appear to be having the strongest winds right now, which are howling at 67 miles per hour. So very strong winds, a dangerous situation. Hickory Tavern, Ware Shoals, you need to be waking the kids up. You need to be getting to your safe spot. This is a dangerous time for tornadoes to be moving through. So folks, if you have family or friends that live in northern Lawrence County that may not be aware of these storm systems, maybe you should give them a call right now and urge them to seek shelter, because this is an active tornado warning, a dangerous situation in Lawrence County, and it is pushing up towards southern Spartanburg County if it should continue. This cell is off by itself. It's part of this outlying activity that is forming ahead of the main line, and it looks like this is starting to take on more of a stronger look to it. You can see as it moved out of Abbeville and Greenwood counties, it was a ragged storm system, a storm cell, and as it pushed into Lawrence County, it's encountering a little bit more instability here, and we're starting to get more of a hook here on the southern side of this, where along Highway 252 and Poplar Springs, I am starting to see some stronger rotation, stronger winds here. Right in there at Poplar Springs, we're getting some very strong rotation. This very well could be a tornado on the ground, so anybody in Poplar Springs there in Lawrence County, please seek shelter right now. This is heading toward Hickory Tavern. It is heading toward parts of Highway 76, Gray Court included in that, and if it continues, it will head into Spartanburg County with this active tornado warning pushing on through, and this is an active tornado warning that goes until 11:45. So folks that are watching right now in southern Greenville County, you're right on the tip of this, so Fountain Inn, you need to be in your safe spot as well. Parts of Spartanburg County, this is heading towards you. It's booking it off toward the north and east at about 50 miles per hour. So fast right now that this storm cell is heading towards you. You need to be seeking shelter in Fountain Inn, Emery, and Woodruff. And I'm starting to see stronger signatures here out of this. Let's turn the velocity back on. This gives me a look at inside the storm, not just the rain, but the way that the winds are behaving in this storm cell. And as live Super Doppler 4 HD crosses over this, we're able to get a fresh look at it. I'll wait for it to cross over and get a sampling of the wind speeds in this. 68 miles per hour right now, going in one direction. So it is something to watch very, very closely here. Anybody living or right now along Highway 252 in Lawrence County, if you can let us know what you're seeing in your neck of the woods, please get to your safe spot. spot, let us know on the Facebook chat right now. We have it up. And folks, if you have any pictures that you can send us after this passes through, safely so, from the comfort and the safety of your home there in Abbeville or Greenwood counties, we'd love to hear from you on our Facebook page. Joe Ripley right now monitoring our Facebook status right now and our live stream that's going on. Joe, what are you seeing right now from what folks are saying in Lawrence County, Abbeville, and Greenwood counties? Any kind of damage you're seeing right now?
Those are just starting to pour in right now, Chris. We are tracking a lot of power outages, though, across our area, specifically Western North Carolina, as you are tracking the potential for tornadoes to touch down here in the upstate. That just cropping up. But I can tell you now that about 5,000 people, more closely to 5,500 people, are without power right now in Western North Carolina. We're also tracking some power outages here in the upstate, just now starting to get those numbers in as Duke Energy starts to get crews out there, assess the damage. Of course, as Chris mentioned, if you've got reports of damage, it can safely capture those on video, by picture. Be sure to send those to us. You can do that on the WYFF News 4 mobile app. I know a lot of you guys are tuned in right now to that app right now, tuning into the latest in your area as we check Facebook now. To see what you guys are saying. Another note about those power outages, Buncombe County actually reporting 1,300 out right now. Macon County in North Carolina, 2,100. Another reminder tonight, as we are dealing with the threat of power outages, Duke says they are expecting a large number of those tonight. Make sure you have a plan. Make sure, as you heard Chris mention, get that emergency preparedness kit out. Know where you're going to go right now so that by the time the storm gets to you, you are prepared and not working on that as the storm is getting your way. But right now we are seeing this threat. You see that line of storms there as I am now looking at our WYFF News 4 Facebook page and seeing what you guys are saying out there. If you have any reports of storm damage, trees down, power lines down, reminder tonight that you do not want to go anywhere near those. Do not go outside. Stay indoors and stay in your safe spot right now as the threat of tornadoes looms large over the upstate right now. You can see that line of storms tracking to the north and east there. Right now in Alabama, they're seeing a lot of damage. We've seen reports of damage, video of damage all night long of this storm system passing through the southeastern United States. Right now, let's see. This tornado warning that was issued, you heard Chris mention, in parts of Greenwood County, Spartanburg County, Lawrence County, Greenville County. We are seeing a lot of your comments right now, and thank you so much for all of those. Let's see, near 252 and 76, we hear sirens going off in Chesney. The scene is calmer as you track farther north into Greenville County. Let's see, raining sideways. We're hearing from Josh on Facebook. Let's see. We have tons of people watching right now. Over 6,000 of you tuning in to our WYFF News 4 Facebook page. We thank you for that. A lot of you reporting how conditions are in your area. We want to send things back over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice. Chris, what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, this continues to be a dangerous situation in Lawrence County. That's the biggest concern right now, is this main line is pushing eastbound. We're getting some cells out ahead of that main line that are beginning to rotate. And right now, the strongest rotation appears to be over Lawrence County. If you have anybody that could be in Lawrence County that may not be watching this, please give them a call. And folks that are in Lawrence County watching, please get to your safe spot right now, as this continues to be a dangerous situation now heading over Gray Court. You have to know that this storm cell is moving at 50 miles per hour. It's booking it toward the north and east, and we're starting to see this rotation move over Gray Court right now. Let's put a sample of the winds on this as it's moving through, anywhere from 50 to 60 mile per hour winds here. You're hearing the tornado sirens go off in Lawrence County. If you're in Clinton right now or Joanna, you're not included in this. If you're in Greenville County, if you're in Fountain Inn, you are. But the farther north you go, parts of Simpsonville, it's just south of you. So be on alert. But right now, it's one of those situations that you just need to watch very closely. The good news here, it does look like this rotation is weakening enough that the National Weather Service will cancel this tornado warning. It does look like we still have some strong winds over Hickory Tavern. I'm going to put a fresh track on this for you as we wait for this warning to drop. Still some strong winds heading up into the northern part of Lawrence County, which will cross into Spartanburg County near Gray Court, Martin Crossroads, and then Woodruff, all within the next 30 minutes. That is right now the only cell that is rotating across our area, and we'll have to watch that closely as it moves into Spartanburg County. What's happening here is there is a great deal more instability right here along I-85 and southbound, and that instability is beginning to grow and move toward the north. So as this does, we'll start to see more activity that develops here in the southern part of the upstate, in North Georgia, parts of the Augusta area, Columbia, and some of that will try to move up into our neck of the woods. But the main concern here is from this line back toward Alabama that is going to move our way during the overnight hours between midnight and 4 a.m. Embedded in this line, as I turn the warnings back on here, is a few tornadoes, some strong winds. We have multiple tornado warnings up and down this line here as it moves from Chattanooga down toward the Birmingham area, and then all the way down toward Mobile, Alabama. So this is an extreme wind maker as it moves through the area here and continues to be a dangerous situation here. It looks like Greenville, Abbeville, and Greenwood counties have been dropped from this, but the National Weather Service will continue the tornado warning here for, it appears, Lawrence County. And it looks like that center of circulation does now include Gray Court. So, you know, for you folks that are in Greenwood and Abbeville counties, you're in the clear from this. And Greenville County, it looks like this is far enough out of view that the tornado warning has been canceled, even though it grazes your area just so slightly right there. It looks like this circulation is moving over Gray Court and moving north and east toward Woodruff. So new information here is the National Weather Service has dropped Greenwood and Abbeville counties. You can come out of your safe spot right now in those areas, but in Lawrence County, the circulation continues to be there enough with some strong winds just west of Lawrence that it will continue to move north and east into Spartanburg County. I'm going to stop this right here, show exactly where we're talking about as I turn on the velocity. This gives us a sampling of the winds. The brighter greens right here indicate the areas that are rotating inside this storm and have very strong winds. I'm going to ID these winds here for you. Near Hickory Tavern, Gray Court, Barksdale, we've got 50 to 60 mile per hour winds that are going toward our radar site, while at this very same time, you've got winds that are going away from the radar site, just like that. So as this continues to move off toward the north and east, it continues to present the danger of a tornado, and you can see that classic hook right there, and that just shows you what these storms, albeit very small in size right now with this in particular one, are doing once they climb high enough and get tall enough into the sky that they tap into that low-level jet and begin to rotate. So let's put a fresh track on this. I'm going to input the newest speeds here because this is now moving at 55 miles per hour off toward the north and east. In Lawrence County near Gray Court as it pushes up. I'll do a short one here first. So Gray Court, it's right over you right now within the next 5 minutes, heading over downtown Gray Court, and then Woodruff by 11:50. Let's get in closer here, show you your neck of the woods. Anybody watching right now in Gray Court needs to be in your safe spot. It's time to wake the kids up, get them into the safe spot. What I would urge you to do is, if you have little kids, make that safe area, whether it be a closet, a bathroom, make it a fun area. Make some stuffed animals in there, some kind of tablet to keep them happy. Maybe they'll fall back asleep right there, but at least they're in the safe spot of your house. And going to sleep tonight, you need to take note of your house. Where are the trees located in and around your house? Do you have large trees on one side of your house but not the other? Maybe it's a night where you sleep in a different part of your home. And I would urge you to have a weather watcher in your home tonight, somebody that can stay awake through these storms and wake up the rest of the family should they turn severe, because this is just the beginning of what's going to be a very active night of severe weather. And it's not often that we get nighttime severe weather like this. Usually it comes to us during the day or even the late evening hours. So putting a fresh track on this, Gray Court by 11:45 as this pushes quickly off toward the north and east. Watching it closely, it was a storm cell that originated in Abbeville and Greenwood County. It is what we call a discrete cell. It's off by itself. It had the capability to begin to spin, and once it did grow tall enough, it began to spin up. Let's put a 3D slice on this storm to see a fresh look at how tall it is as it moves on through the area here. It's not a very tall thunderstorm, but as it taps into some of that upper level energy that's moving through our area, it's beginning to spin. And what's happening here is, out ahead of this main line, we're getting warmer, more unstable air to move up into our area. what we call our wind shear values, that's the twisting and turning of the winds, those are through the roof right now. So any thunderstorm that forms has the capability to begin to immediately rotate. And that's what we have happening right now in Lawrence County and heading towards Spartanburg County with this warning that goes until 11:45. We've got more activity and new warnings that are popping up back here toward the Alabama-Georgia line as this main line presses eastbound. And just getting word from the Storm Prediction Center that our area is favored for seeing a tornado watch later. More or less of something we already know is going to come. It's just a matter of when, as our tornado threat is very high going into the overnight hours. And specifically looking at that threat, we have a 1 in 10 shot at seeing a tornado at any given spot on this map in red right here. So anybody that lives here in the southern part of the upstate, up through the North Carolina border here, anybody in this red has a 10% chance of seeing a tornado. Now you notice the black hatched marks right here. That is the way the Storm Prediction Center notifies folks that they could have strong tornadoes, EF2 or greater. There's a greater chance at strong tornadoes tonight in this area. So that's why we are so concerned about this outbreak as it moves toward the east. You've got an active tornado warning here at our neck of the woods. This is for this cell that's off by itself. The main line poses the greatest threat and the highest risk for tornadoes. That line does not move through our area until 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. for the western parts of our area. It likely won't approach Greenville or Anderson or Abbeville until 3 or 4 a.m. And then moving towards Spartanburg, Union, Cherokee counties until around 5 a.m. So this is going to be a long night of severe weather. What I would suggest you do if you have some family that can be weather watchers with you is to take shifts. Somebody watches the weather, hour by hour, puts on a movie, but has a way to be alerted to these warnings. Now is a night where you need to turn your ringer on your phone. Make sure that you have a way to receive these warnings should they be issued. Now, getting new information here from the National Weather Service, it does look like they're going to let this warning expire right here at 11:45. So we're going to watch it for another few minutes here. It does look like the rotation is starting to weaken here. You don't see the brighter greens with this anymore, which is certainly some good news with this storm cell. As I anticipated, it's entering an area of the upstate that's not as unstable, still very unstable in the northern part of the upstate, but the greatest instability right now lies right here in the southern part of the upstate. So any storm that forms right here will likely begin to rotate immediately. But what's happening here is with the southerly winds out ahead of this main line, this instability, this warm and unstable air is moving and growing as it does toward the north. So something we're going to be watching very closely into the overnight hours is this instability that continues to grow here. But good news for you folks in Lawrence County. It does look like within the next 5 minutes this warning will expire. Right now, the warning as it stands goes until 11:45, but I am seeing some signs, at least small signs, that this is beginning to rotate. I don't want you to let your guard down in Spartanburg County or northern Lawrence County because this is still a discrete cell. It's off by itself. This warning goes for another 4 or 5 minutes, but as it enters Spartanburg County, conditions not quite as favorable as it was down toward the south here in Greenwood and Abbeville counties, but it's something I'll be watching closely. And that's not the only cell I'll be watching. Let's go back toward the west right here and show you all this activity that's going on in parts of Tennessee. And in fact, one county over from our viewing area in Cherokee County, we've got an active tornado warning there. So this is all part of a main line that's moving our way. You've got active flood warnings and tornado warnings up and down this line with strong winds that are in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Let me switch over to the chroma key right now, and I'll map out some of the threats as we go into the overnight hours. This severe threat goes until really 7 a.m. for many of us here, as the entire area is under a high risk for severe weather tonight, being strong winds, being tornadoes. We're going to have to watch this very, very closely as we go into the overnight hours. Let's look specifically at that tornado threat here. A 1 in 10 shot at seeing a tornado in this area of red. Now, the hatched area means that area could see strong tornadoes. Anybody in the upstate in western North Carolina could get strong tornadoes. That hatched mark means there's a greater chance of EF2 or stronger stronger tornadoes. So that's the concern heading into the overnight hours here. If we can take this full, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Greenville, Spartanburg, Gaffney, Abbeville, Greenwood, all areas here that are under the gun for strong tornadoes into the overnight hours. And honestly, this is just the very beginning of our severe threats. Let me map it out. A brand new computer model just came down. We've got this main line that's moving on through, and it's pushing through parts of Alabama, about to cross into the Alabama-Georgia line. And as it does, it's going to be bringing in some very warm and unstable air. Let's map it out hour by hour here for you. So here's 2 o'clock. The line is starting to approach northeast Georgia. Now notice these cells. There's one, there's another one in North Carolina. Each one of these cells could be embedded supercells. What that means is they're rotating. They're very strong storm cells in this line. And as this line moves toward the east and encounters that very warm air that originates all the way from the Gulf and is being brought up into our area, it's almost warm and muggy out. If you step outside, and it's very, very windy, you'll notice that. 4 a.m., we've got active supercells and strong storms moving through. 5 a.m., this is not a good look. Look at this. Strong line in and of itself, but in between there, you've got active cells here that are off by themselves. That, to me, is a signature on my computer model telling me that could be a tornadic cell and could contain a strong tornado. Now, by 6 a.m., this line is quickly pushing into the I-77 corridor. So our threats will start to come down here at home. We'll still watch this upper level low as it moves through, which will really crank the winds up behind this. We'll have 40, 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts tomorrow morning, but the tornado threat will shift toward the Charlotte area. And as we go into the daylight hours tomorrow, eastern North Carolina, eastern South Carolina having a high risk of tornadoes because that's the warmest part of the day, as that area is very unstable. Looking at my tornado ingredients here, anything above a 1 would scream high tornado threats. And as we go through 1 a.m., 2 a.m., I've got ingredients here that are very high for tornadoes. 5 a.m., nearly a 10. It's off the charts for some areas here. Not particularly saying it's going to be in Asheville or Hendersonville, but just shows you that in our area, we've got very high tornado threats going throughout the overnight hours. And that's something we're going to watch very closely here. New information here from the Storm Prediction Center here. I'm going to go back to my radar map. As anticipated, it does look like we have a newly issued tornado watch. As I click it on here, we'll see who all it includes, because it's something we've been anticipating and knew was coming down the pipe. It was just a matter of when. And right now it does look like parts of our area will be included in this newly issued tornado watch, which goes through the overnight hours. It does include the Atlanta metro area. It includes Greenville, right at the Greenville County line. So a new tornado watch for most of the upstate. And I put a track on this, as this newly issued tornado watch does go until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. And it's for this activity that is moving through Alabama right now. So that's going to be the concern here, folks, is that this is just getting started, and our threats go through around 6, 7 a.m. in the morning. And you'll likely see more downstream tornado watches that will continue to be issued. But the good news here is we've got one more moment before this tornado warning over Gray Court expires. The good news, that threat does appear to be coming to an end, as that rotation has slacked up quite a bit, and that's more of a ragged looking storm moving into Spartanburg County, as the instability is not quite as great. But for you folks in downtown Spartanburg, Lyman, you're seeing your county at the top of the screen right here. I want to let you know I'm going to be watching it very closely, but just like that, on time, that tornado warning has expired, but we do have a newly issued tornado watch, which does include a large part of the viewing area here from western North Carolina down toward parts of northeast Georgia, as this main line continues to move on through the area here with this new tornado watch. And it's for this line that's pushing eastbound here. I want to let you know one more thing. As we go through the day tomorrow, the winds, what we call non-thunderstorm wind damage, is very possible. We've got very wet grounds right now, and as I go through the overnight hours, I'm seeing the wind speeds crank up to around 30, 40 miles per hour, and that's apart from any thunderstorm that forms. That low-level jet that's just about 1,000 feet above our heads, or a couple of thousand feet, I should say, is brought to the ground due to the very heavy rainfall. And looking at the computer models here, aside from thunderstorms, we could have wind gusts approaching 50 or 60 miles per hour. So our power outages are very possible going into the morning hours here. So that's why you need to charge up your cell phone right now. A few takeaways: charge up your cell phone, have it ready to go should a warning be issued for your area, and know where your safe place is. I will keep you posted. I'm not going anywhere through the overnight hours. I'm going to watch these storms go on through the area, and when it's time to get your family out of bed and into a safe place, I'll be the first to let you know. Joe, we'll toss it back on over to you. You've been taking kind of a poll and watching things unfold on our Facebook page. What are folks saying out there watching on our live feeds?
Oh, that's right, Chris. And a lot of people have questions about when they can learn about thunderstorm, severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, or watches in our area. Well, the best way to make sure you have that WYFF News 4 mobile app downloaded to your device. We'll let you know about any alerts in our area. Of course, Chris will break in right here on programming. We'll also have those updates online as well for you. Right now, we want to give you an update on power outages across our area. Right now, about 5,000 people are without power in Western North Carolina.